You wake up, stumble into the kitchen, and reach for that familiar cup. Maybe it's steaming hot coffee. Maybe it's a tall glass of orange juice. Or maybe it's that healthy energy drink that promises to kickstart your day. But what if I told you that one of those morning habits, one that millions of men around the world swear by, might actually be the quiet enemy draining your energy, flattening your motivation, and, yes, silently shrinking your testosterone levels? Today, we're diving into what urologists and endocrinologists have been warning about, the hidden morning drink that could be sabotaging your masculinity without you even realizing it. All right, let's start with a truth that might sting a bit. Your testosterone, the hormone that fuels strength, confidence, and vitality, starts to naturally decline after age 30. That's normal. But for millions of men, that decline is happening much earlier, much faster, and much more drastically than it should. And while everyone's quick to blame stress, lack of sleep, or even genetics, few realize that what you drink every morning can be a major factor. Not your food, not your workouts, but that one drink that sits innocently in your hand while you scroll through emails or news headlines. Let's talk about coffee first, because I know what you're thinking. Don't you dare touch my coffee. Don't worry, I won't tell you to quit it completely. But here's the deal. Coffee, in moderation, can actually boost testosterone temporarily because caffeine stimulates the nervous system and raises adrenaline. However, if you're downing 3, 4, or 5 cups before lunch, that constant cortisol spike is doing the exact opposite. Cortisol, the stress hormone, has a direct, inverse relationship with testosterone. When one goes up, the other goes down. So while that double espresso might make you feel alive for an hour, it's quietly signaling your body to put testosterone production on hold. The worst part? Most people drink coffee first thing in the morning when cortisol levels are already naturally high, which means you're doubling the stress effect at the exact wrong time of day. Now, if coffee isn't your morning poison, maybe it's orange juice. But it's vitamin C. It's healthy, right? Not so fast. That tall glass of orange juice often contains as much sugar as a can of soda, up to 25 grams or more per serving. When that sugar hits your bloodstream on an empty stomach, your insulin spikes through the roof. And chronic insulin spikes are one of testosterone's worst enemies. Elevated insulin signals your body to store fat, especially around the belly. And that belly fat, in turn, converts testosterone into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. In other words, that healthy orange juice might be feminizing you drop by drop, morning after morning. And if you think switching to energy drinks or sweetened teas makes it better, think again. Most energy drinks are packed with artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and compounds like taurine and guarana that keep your adrenal system on constant overdrive. Over time, that stress overload doesn't just drain your energy, it can suppress your body's natural ability to produce testosterone altogether. Even so-called sugar-free versions are laced with synthetic chemicals that confuse your metabolism and disrupt gut health. Two more sneaky testosterone killers. But here's where it gets really interesting. A growing number of urologists have been sounding the alarm about one drink that most men never even think twice about: soy milk and plant-based milk alternatives. Now, before anyone gets defensive, I'm not here to demonize plant-based diets, but soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens, plant-based estrogens that mimic female hormones inside the body. While the amount in one cup won't instantly turn you into a different person, regular consumption can lower free testosterone over time. One study published in Reproductive Toxicology found that men who consumed soy regularly had significantly lower testosterone levels compared to those who didn't. That almond latte or soy protein shake you think is healthy might be quietly signaling your body to ease off testosterone production. Now, here's a twist. Dairy milk isn't innocent either. Most commercial milk today comes from cows treated with synthetic hormones or from cows milked during pregnancy, when estrogen levels are naturally sky high. Those hormones end up in the milk. And yes, in your breakfast cereal bowl. For men already struggling with hormone balance, that extra estrogen exposure adds fuel to the fire. So whether it's soy milk, oat milk, or traditional dairy, your breakfast beverage might be the very reason your motivation, energy, and drive have been slipping. So, what's actually happening inside your body when testosterone starts to dip? Think of testosterone as your body's command signal for energy production, focus, muscle repair, and even emotional resilience. When it's high, you feel sharp, confident, and unstoppable. When it's low, every small task feels like a mountain. Your workouts start to feel pointless. Your recovery slows down. Your sleep gets worse, and even your mood takes a hit. And yet, most men never think to connect those symptoms to what's in their cup. Here's where urologists are making a crucial distinction. It's not about one specific drink being evil. It's about how those drinks trigger hormonal cascades that throw your entire endocrine system off balance. For example, caffeine before breakfast increases cortisol. Sugar before food spikes insulin. Dairy or soy increases estrogenic compounds. Combine all three, and you've created the perfect morning storm before the day even starts. So, what's the fix? It's actually simpler than you might think. Urologists recommend following 3 golden rules for morning beverages. Rule number 1: never drink caffeine on an empty stomach. Eat something first, even a small piece of fruit or a few nuts, to buffer the cortisol effect. Rule number 2: skip the sugar. If you crave sweetness, use a bit of honey or cinnamon, which can actually help stabilize blood sugar levels. And rule number 3: stay hydrated first. The very first thing your body needs after waking up isn't caffeine, it's water. Plain water helps flush out cortisol, rehydrate your tissues, and prepare your metabolism for the day ahead. You might be wondering, so what should I drink instead? Great question. The top recommendation from urologists and nutrition experts alike is simple: water with a squeeze of lemon. It's refreshing, supports liver detoxification, and helps regulate pH levels in the body. Another option? Green tea. Unlike coffee, green tea contains L-theanine, an amino acid that smooths out the cortisol spike from caffeine and helps maintain steady energy. Plus, compounds in green tea, like catechins, have been shown to reduce oxidative stress, another hidden factor that lowers testosterone. And if you're into smoothies, swap sugary fruit juices for blends with spinach, avocado, and unsweetened almond milk. Low sugar, high nutrients, and hormone-friendly. Now, let's go deeper into the science for a second, because this part often surprises people. Testosterone isn't just made in your testicles. It's also regulated by a complex network involving your brain, adrenal glands, and liver. When your liver is overloaded with sugar, chemicals, or processed additives, which many morning drinks contain, it struggles to clear out excess estrogen. That means estrogen levels rise while testosterone levels fall. In other words, that innocent morning beverage is forcing your liver to fight battles it shouldn't be fighting before 9 a.m. Now, let's talk about another silent saboteur: plastic. If you're drinking from plastic bottles every morning, especially when exposed to heat, you could be ingesting compounds like BPA and phthalates, known endocrine disruptors that mimic estrogen in the body. A urologist once put it bluntly: you can't expect optimal testosterone if you're literally drinking estrogen every day. So switch to glass or stainless steel bottles whenever you can. It's a small change that can have a massive hormonal impact. But here's the hopeful part: testosterone is incredibly responsive to lifestyle changes. Within just a few weeks of changing your morning routine, studies show measurable improvements in testosterone levels, energy, and focus. One research group found that men who replaced sugary drinks with water and reduced caffeine intake before noon increased their free testosterone by up to 25% in 1 month. Imagine that. No supplements, no injections, just smarter choices. And while we're on that note, let's bust one more myth: that testosterone is only about muscles and sex drive. It's not. Testosterone affects everything from your cardiovascular health to cognitive function. Low testosterone has been linked to higher risks of diabetes, depression, and even Alzheimer's disease. That's why urologists emphasize early prevention, not waiting until fatigue and weight gain hit hard. It's about protecting your vitality for decades to come. So, let's recap this in real life. Tomorrow morning, before you grab your usual drink, pause. Ask yourself, is this fueling me or draining me? If it's a sugar-loaded juice, a stress-spiking coffee, or a hormone-heavy milk, it's probably time to switch. Try starting with water, then a protein-rich breakfast, and save your coffee for mid-morning when cortisol naturally dips. You'll notice the difference in just a week. Steadier energy, better focus, fewer crashes. And if you're worried about giving up your favorite drink, remember, it's not about perfection. It's about awareness. If you love your coffee, have it smartly. If you crave flavor, infuse your water with cucumber or mint. The goal isn't restriction, it's optimization. Because the truth is, your hormones are listening to every choice you make, every sip you take. Feed them right, and they'll reward you with strength, clarity, and confidence